I'm just sore. It don't even hurt no more. Okay. No pain, no gain, right?
We've got a few more seats down here if anybody wants to go ahead and jump in some seats here. Again, if we want, there are a few more seats down. If anybody wants to come join us and have a couple seats, we'll get started here. I think before we get started, there are a few more seats if anybody else wants to funnel in. Or good to see a lot of purple in the room, and always exciting times. But good afternoon and welcome into the Ramsey Center and the hospitality room for another exciting day here in Catamount Athletics. So glad to have everyone here and everybody that's watching through our video streams, of course, through ESPN Plus, through our YouTube channel, and of course, through our Facebook page as well. Glad to have everybody tuned in here on this Wednesday, another exciting day here in Catamount Country. And again, great to see so much of the purple in the room. Do want to first of all say thank you for being here to all of our women's basketball team, the players from our squad. So glad to have you guys in attendance and glad you guys could make it out here today. Thank you. Again, the format of our press conference today, our introductory press conference, we'll have comments from our Chancellor, Dr. Kelly Brown. We'll also bring up our athletics director in Alex Gary, and then we'll introduce our next women's basketball coach in Jonathan Tsipis. So looking forward to that. We'll have a brief breakout session for members of our media after that. Then we'll get Coach back over here to meet and greet with anyone and everyone. So can stick around for that. We appreciate you being here this afternoon. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce Western Carolina's Chancellor, Dr. Kelly Brown.
Thank you, Daniel. Good afternoon, Catamounts. It's a great day to be here in Cullowhee. Glad to be here. Thank you all to all the members of the Catamount Nation who are here today and those that are watching online. We are so glad to have you joining us here. This is an exciting day in Western Carolina University and the Catamount Athletics program as we welcome our new head women's basketball coach. Yeah. I hope you've all been watching the wonderful excitement and momentum that women's intercollegiate basketball is having right now. What a turning point we are seeing as we celebrate the amazing achievement of female athletes, and I couldn't be prouder. In just a minute, our athletics director, Alex Gary, will formally introduce our new head coach. But before we get to that, I want to thank Alex and his team for their hard work in securing Coach SIP-iss, but I understand it's now Coach SIP. Is that correct? Yeah, Coach SIP, for this post. I'm so incredibly excited for this new chapter of Catamount women's basketball. I know that Coach SIP is going to fit right in here in the passion and committed members of our athletic staff. Athletics provides our students, faculty, staff, alumni, and just as importantly, our community, something to be proud of and support. And at Western Carolina University, students come first, whether it's in the classroom or on the court. I commend Alex for his continuous efforts to build a team of coaches and professional staff that helps student athletes find the same level of success in athletic competition as they do here academically. And I know that Coach SIP will be just as committed to this goal as well. Thank you, Alex, and to everyone who is part of the athletic staff for all that you do for WCU. And now, the reason that we're here today, Alex, would you please join me to offer some remarks and welcome our newest addition to the Catamount Nation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Chancellor Brown. Today, we're thrilled to announce Jonathan Tsipis as our head women's basketball coach. As always, I want to thank so many people that have helped make this come together. This process was a little bit more extensive than many processes here because many of the candidates that we wanted to interview were still participating, just like Coach Tsipis was, in the NCAA tournament. And there's so many people I want to thank, including always our University Board of Trustees, our Chancellor Kelly R. Brown. I want to thank Deputy Athletic Director and Sports Supervisor for Women's Basketball, Kyle Pfeiffer, and Senior Women Administrator, Ashley Simmons, who both helped me interview 10 different candidates for the position. So thank you guys very much for your popularity of women's basketball is at an all-time high. This year's national championship game garnered 18.7 million viewers nationwide and was the most watched women's college basketball game of all time. It was the most watched basketball game of any kind since 2019, and that includes the NBA. Viewership was larger than last year's Major League Baseball World Series, last year's NBA Finals, and for the first time in history, garnered more viewers than the men's national championship game. I mention these numbers to reinforce the exponential growth in a game that is finally getting the attention that it deserves. If ever there was a time to invest in the sport of women's basketball, the time is now. The appointment of Jonathan Tsipis as our head women's basketball coach is a statement about our commitment to women's basketball at Western Carolina University. A graduate of UNC Chapel Hill, Coach Sip has an impressive coaching resume at the collegiate level. The resume includes 12 NCAA tournament appearances, 5 Sweet 16s, 2 Final Fours, and 2 appearances in the national championship game. More importantly, 100% of his players who have completed their eligibility have received their college degrees. After beginning his coaching career on the men's side, Coach Sip spent 9 seasons on the sideline with the legendary coach Muffet McGraw at the University of Notre Dame. Serving as the program's associate head coach and recruiting coordinator, Jonathan was part of a staff that went to 9 consecutive NCAA tournaments and secured 3 top 10 nationally ranked recruiting classes. For his efforts, Jonathan was named BasketballScoop.com National Assistant Coach of the Year during the 2008-2009 season. His success at Notre Dame led to his very first head coaching job at George Washington University. Taking over the program at George Washington presented a significant challenge. A program that was a combined 25-61 in the 3 years leading up to his arrival. After his first season with a 14-16 record, the Colonials went on to a combined record of 78-22 in the next 3 seasons, reaching the NCAA tournament twice and another appearance in the National Invitational Tournament. His success landed him Atlantic 10 Coach of the Year honors during the 2014-15 season, a year that concluded with the Colonials being ranked number 25 in the country per USA Today. His successful tenure at George Washington led to him being named the head coach at the University of Wisconsin in 2016. The Badgers enjoyed success under his leadership, reaching their highest win total in 10 years during the 2018-19 campaign, a season that also saw them reach their furthest finish in the Big Ten tournament in 7 seasons. His impressive recruiting record continued as the Badgers secured 3 top 100 recruits, nationally ranked recruits, heading into the 2018-2019 season alone. His commitment to academic success of student athletes continued at Wisconsin, leading to every eligible student athlete being recognized with all Big Ten honors during the 2020 and 2021 seasons. Coach Sip spent the past 2 seasons on the bench at Marquette University, rejoining one of his players and one of his former assistant coaches, Megan Duffy, who was recently named the head coach of Virginia Tech. During his time at Marquette, Marquette was one of only 3 programs in the country to receive an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament in each of the last 2 seasons. A significant accomplishment. In short, I cannot be more thrilled for the person and the coach that we now have leading our women's basketball program. Jonathan is joined today by his wife, Lee. We are so happy to have you as part of the Catamount family. I know you're excited too. Without further ado, the 14th head coach in the history of Western Carolina women's basketball, Jonathan Tsipis.
Well, thank you. It's always hard to follow, the voice of the Catamount country, obviously Chancellor Brown and Alex as well. So thank you to everyone who's here today. Obviously, the team. I can't wait to get started with you. We'll talk a little bit more about you here in a second. Friends and family of Catamount Nation, and obviously there's so much pride in wearing the purple and gold. I just have to build my wardrobe a little bit more. I haven't been anywhere there's been purple, so just give me a little bit of time. So thank you for everyone being here. First and foremost, thank you, Chancellor Brown. I really appreciate your vision of the growth and unity for Western. It was evident in our discussion over the phone, and I look forward to following your leadership. Alex Gary, this has been a busy man the last 3 weeks. I can tell you that. From our first conversation, it's been evident how your commitment is for women's basketball. Your service to our game of women's basketball, as you've been on the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee the last 2 seasons, is much appreciated to the game itself. I look forward to the day Western Carolina is announced on Sunday, Women's Basketball Selection Day. I also want to thank Kyle Pfeiffer and Ashley Simmons. I could tell their passion as well on our first Zoom call. And obviously, Kyle's not able to be here with us today, but Ashley, having somebody as a former player, a former Warhawk at Louisiana Monroe, to have somebody in your shoes to be able to be a great example for our student athletes, I'm really excited to work with you as well. My career has been shaped by many coaches, but 2 really stand out, Muffet McGraw and Megan Duffy. I was, as Alex mentioned, given the opportunity to change from the men's side to the women's side of college basketball to work at the University of Notre Dame. My wife Lee and I had been married for 9 months. I was offered the job, and I froze because we hadn't made a decision of that magnitude as a couple yet. I told Coach McGraw everything told me that was the right place, but I'm a smart man, and I needed to make sure this was the right place for my wife as well. I still remember when we came to South Bend, and my wife said, "You will regret this moment if you don't accept this job." I will tell you this, Muffet McGraw is the premier leader for women's empowerment in the country. I got to watch that, be right next to it for 9 years. And I can tell you, her commitment is amazing and something that I promise I will continue to work on every single day and always look to her for wisdom and advice. Just because she wants women empowerment in all areas across the country and whatever profession, I want to make sure she understands that men have that equal opportunity and need to be able to be at the front to help that make it a possibility. To the Western Carolina basketball team, I can tell you my greatest strength is my enthusiasm. In fact, my greatest quote is, "Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm." I promise to pour into you my knowledge, my heart, and my extensive collection of dad jokes that you will hear on a daily basis, on and off the court. Your relentless growth and unmatched experience here at Western are my ultimate goal. I can't wait to get started. I know some of you have already got a lift in today, and some of still have to do it. I'll be there tomorrow when we have our conditioning session with Cody. It is going to be my honor to lead this program and help you obtain your goals and reach your potential. The Western Carolina community has been extremely welcoming to me and my family. I would like to say this, in the last 2 years, I've had very much a basketball rebirth. I had a year where I wasn't coaching, and what I missed was that connection with the student athletes, to be able to be around an athletic department that reaches out and helps grow student athletes. I've had the last 2 years a chance to watch my life really come full circle. As Alex mentioned, I worked for a young woman named Megan Duffy. I met Megan Duffy when she was 19 years old, a rising sophomore at University of Notre Dame. She went on to become my associate head coach at George Washington. In the last 2 years, I've served under her as the head coach at Marquette. It's pretty amazing the places that basketball will take you. And I can tell you this, it's been amazing to watch somebody come from being in the exact same position many of our players are to being able to lead, and now takes on the challenge, and I know she'll succeed at the University of, at Virginia Tech University. What I can tell you before I thank the community is why Western Carolina. It's been the #1 question I've been asked. I've had a chance, after it was released publicly on Friday, to be able to talk to each of our returning players via FaceTime or on a phone call, and several asked that. And I can give you my reasons very quickly. I believe in leadership, and I believe in leadership starts at the top, and people need to have a say. And I can tell you I've been so impressed with Chancellor Brown and Alex and Ashley and Kyle and their vision for women's basketball here at Western Carolina. It is a great mix of academics and athletics. It has been my pride to be at institutions where at the end of somebody's academic experience, they just weren't handed a diploma, they were handed a path to their future. Southern Conference basketball. Not a lot of people understand the history of Southern Conference basketball. I do. I was in the conference on the men's side. It was before the Atlantic Coast Conference was even a thought, and I'm really proud to be able to represent a team in the Southern Conference. Winning has been done here before, and I look forward to following Coach Harper's trend that she had in the mid-2000s, but it's been done here, and I'm very confident to say it's going to be done here again very quickly. The people here bleed purple and gold. There's not anyone I've talked to, and this includes when I was a student at Chapel Hill. At that point, I met my wife there, and I can't thank her enough for being here today, but more importantly, always being by my side. I see that same type of commitment with the people at Western Carolina. Lastly, North Carolina is home to me. This is where I went to school. This is where I met my wife in pharmacy school. If you have any pharmacy questions, do not ask them to me. Ask them to my wife. Our daughter's followed in her parents' footsteps and is a sophomore at Chapel Hill. And our youngest, Josh, is a junior in high school, and we hope he will follow the family tradition and end up in school here, hopefully be a Catamount. My brother and my sister have both moved here before I ever came to college here and have both raised their families in the Raleigh-Durham area. So North Carolina truly is home to me. The Western Carolina community has been extremely welcoming, and the SIP-iss family looks forward to immersing ourselves into Cullowhee, Silva, and the surrounding areas. What I lack in hair, I make up with a smile and positivity. The picture you see over is the same picture it's been for about the last 20 years. I'm proud to be a Catamount. I'm so thankful for the people to be here today. Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet each and every one of you, but I look forward to getting it rolling in the Ramsey Center. I heard one of the greatest traditions is miss it for a biscuit. So I get teased. Probably 50% of the phone calls that I get on FaceTime from my daughters when she's getting Bojangles at Chapel Hill just to rub it in. So I'm all about getting biscuits to everybody in the arena. Thank you so much for being here today, and go Cats.
Yeah, I used to say I didn't care what color my hair turned as long as it didn't turn loose, but now it's doing both. So, again, that'll conclude our press conference today. We'll have a quick breakout session with our members of the media. Please stick around. Enjoy the great refreshments provided by our good friends from Ingles. We got some great cookies, also courtesy of the Catamount Club. Appreciate everyone for being here today. Appreciate everyone watching at home as well. And again, looking forward to women's basketball season. Season tickets will go on sale very soon, so make sure you get those going. All right, CatamountSports.com. All right, thank you again, everybody, for being here, and we'll take Coach across the hall, and we'll get him back as quickly as we can. Thank you.